Yo, yo, Tony D with my new gods. Totally enjoy the new gods. I've been reviewing them. I know a lot of people may not resonate with it, but I dig it. Cagle's art just sucks me into it. It's pretty intricate. It's very atmospheric and expressive. Francesco Segala's colors are moody, very rich, and it complements the story's darker tone, which it's pretty dark. So where we left off, Mr. Miracle, Orion were battling. There's a child who is prophesized as an integral piece to the story. So that was stopped by our guy Superman. You know how he does. And I forget what they're called, man. The Nictari is a very powerful group that has taken over Apocalypse and the new gods. Their paradise or where they live. New Genesis. Golly, man. So this is looking back. You have the Watchtower. And you have some messaging here, and hey, wake up, they're here. So this is really just a flashback where they first meet the new gods. So they know about them. There's a relationship there. And then we flash to the new gods had to load who they could into a spacecraft and try to get to Earth where there's some kind of safety, because the Nictari are extremely powerful. It looks like they have some kind of self-healing ability, and they just can't be killed easily. And one of Darkseid's sons is in that group. So yeah, very impactful. Superman doing what he does. The Justice League is there, and she's gently, put it down gently. Boop! That's going to get some people involved. So, Black Smoke Rising, Part 1. If you want to jump in, I would jump in on this. You'll be fine. So, Mr. Miracle and Orion, they're stopping what they're doing. Things are changing. And this is the child with, it is great power. Great enough where he knocked Orion on his can. One thing I want to get into with Metron, I'm not steeped in the lore of the new gods, maybe as some people. And if you are, chime in. I've always looked at Metron as, I thought he leaned more into an antagonist, but he's really neutral the more that I read this. He's the seeker of ultimate knowledge. And he's very, as you read this, you'll see he's very indifferent to the moral outcomes of his quest. He's like a cosmic observer, and he maintains a real cold intellectual distance, if that makes sense. He really has, his allegiance is just to understanding things. And I'm still trying to puzzle through that, but that's what I love. And that's where we get to this, where Metron is talking, and he's talking about how do you shake the new gods out of complacency. And this is how he did it. I guess it was something that needed to be done, but he does it in a very mysterious way. It's not laid out and answered for you in an easy way, but it explains things he did in previous issues. Like talking of the prophecy and that they're doomed and it needs to be taken care of. And so everything he did brought everybody together in one spot. So he has, I think he transcends time as well. I learned a lot more about Metron in this issue, and I love learning. There's all kinds of stuff to learn. And he also gave them, I believe that's Maxwell Lord, he gave them a threat to unite against, which is another important thing. But while this was happening in the earlier issues, you really don't know. Ram V is not giving you easy answers, and that's the way I like it. He's doing some more talking, and he's not a bad consequence, not a bad result, not even for a doom crow. He seems to lean more into the new gods, but that kind of flip-flopped as we go, and I'll show you why. So we're getting a deep dive into the fallout of New Genesis collapse, and it's really a refugee crisis, and kind of ties in the stuff going on now. I don't mind. That's what comics do sometimes. They reflect the world around us. So this group, it is an American group. They're on American soil, and it's the Department of Extranormal Operations. And there's a lot of dialogue with this. That's what I mean. It connects to issues going on now, and she seems to be making sense. But the Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan is saying that she's right. They need to do something with them. They need to put them somewhere where they can be watched and monitored as a threat. But the Justice League, they're vouching for them. And Orion, man, he does not want his people messed with. I can totally relate to that guy. Which ratchets up the tension, which I really enjoyed, where they're pointing a gun at his people and he takes care of it. So they go ahead and open fire, and Mr. Miracle takes care of it. That's a cool way of displaying a power set. Green Lantern gets involved. They're diffusing the situation. They're trying to get to dialogue, right? That's how you fix things. You have to have dialogue on this. And she's saying they're going to keep them in a secure facility where they can ascertain what is to be done with them. And she's even threatening, unless you're going to stay in my way, Superman. And he's like, man, that's not what I'm saying. But man, you don't want to get into that. And this was super powerful to me. And I'll get into it. A lot of people may disagree. They may agree. I'm not political. I'm a comic book reader. And when I read this, John Stewart that's enough of that. And he says the refugees are welcome. And he's, what are you doing? And he's building, he's an architect, so he's building a shelter with constructs to take care of the issue. And he says a line here which really struck me. And it was, he tells the agent of the DEA that, that I know you have a remit, authorization, a business card, a rule book, a badge, and I know what it's like. He's been a soldier. And he makes a comment here, you shouldn't need a rule book to tell you when something is right. That struck a chord with me. It resonated very deeply. Otherwise, what's the point of it all? So I think as a social commentary with going on now, it's like some things are right, but there's so many layers of things that go on. Like it just gets lost in the shuffle, and it's, are you really doing the right thing? It resonated with me, man. I'm telling you, I felt like he was right. And this was very powerful too. He's not saying this as a lantern, a Justice League member, or a superhero. He's saying it as a soldier. And soldiers do have different perspectives on things like this. They see refugees of war and it's impactful. It's not an everyday thing. All life is sacred and worth protecting. That hit home with me big time. It provoked an emotion out of me. And I don't try to overthink stuff like that when I'm reading. I just embrace the emotion it pulls out of me, and it makes me think about stuff. It's the beauty of comics. So they find out that something else slipped in, but they don't know who it is, and it's a big concern. There is some hiding of people that came in, and you don't know the intentions or what's going on. Very interesting here. Now you got your guy. This is where never really could get a beat on Metron, but now he's hanging out with the refugees from Apocalypse. And he's talking with them. He's conversing. And they're not too hot on Metron. That's why I say I think he leans more to the new gods. And he explains some of the stuff going on, that like Mr. Lord tipping off the DEO, that they could have been at the other landing site where they're here. So he's up to something now. And that's when I start leaning towards, was he being an antagonist? It's a very complicated thing. Ran V handles it very well. And the whole thing is, I think Metron was doing a good thing to get everyone away from the Niktari. There was not a winning scenario there. So he's orchestrating things. Yeah, Apocalypse answers his new masters. The champions are rudderless. And the Highfather is very humbled. And he wants to be called by his name, Izaya. Says he hasn't heard that in a long time. Now, here's my question to any New Gods people out there. Is that a first mention of his name? Or is this something new? Or was it always Izaya? Let me know, man. I know there's some New Gods people out there. Oh, and this is very touching with Orion and his interaction with these characters here. And he finds out that Light Ray was killed so that they could escape. And he's pretty close with Light Ray. And just the way that he reacts from hearing this, it's very somber and it's very counter to his normal, like, war rage type characterization. So this moment was super powerful. He goes and he just, look at that. Cagle's artwork is fantastic. I love it. It's very atmospheric and expressive. It's very detailed too. When he draws machinery and galactic type stuff, it is fantastic. And he lets out this powerful emotional energy from the thing. And so the child that he was tasked to get rid of, this is where you see that this child is a new hope. He's a new God and a hero to be. And this is where you know that he's a true hero, where he comforts Orion even after Orion was trying to eliminate him. Very powerful moment. And it's, the writing, heroes are not made in peace and comfort. Heroes, they're forged in the heat of conflict. Great stuff. So here we go, like a little wrapping it up. Metron talking with the apocalyptic antagonists. Are they antagonists in this? They're really refugees as well. But they're refugees with Max Lord, which probably is not good. She's talking to the Director Bones. Always like that character, just because he's a skeleton. So the Justice League is vouching, and she knows we can't do anything, Justice League. But I forget this character's name. I'll pop his name up in a note, but he's a hunter, and really don't know what his angle is yet. He may have been one that snuck in, and we're left with that. So more mystery, more intrigue. I totally love it. I love reviewing it. Even if, man, it gets one view, it's that thing, I don't care. It's fun to make. A lot of introspection. If you like books that don't give you the answers, you'll like this one. And like I said, you could jump on right here. And the Metron phenomenon, really, that's always been a thing with me, like books that he's in. He always shifts the narrative to something larger and mysterious where you're just left thinking. He's always reflecting on the pursuit of knowledge, and he's stripped of emotion or consequence. Metron's not driven by power or justice. It's just pure curiosity. And he values the discovery over compassion, which makes him feel he's very alien, and even to the gods, to like Darkseid and Highfather. But you could do a whole thing on it. Man, I'm loving it. Let me know if you're a new God person. And outro, get it.